What the fuck is up, y'all? Kreyz McKormik here. And it's week 2 of Juggalo a Day. Now, we've already gone through some decent introductions with myself, FatMan Jersey, Nightmare, and Miss Juggalette. Right now, we only got a 4-piece set. So far, it's only a quartet. But eventually, at some point in time, we are going to be able to add more motherfuckers. Maybe some motherfuckettes. Right now, we still only have one motherfucking ninja that has actually put his name in the hat and is willing to participate. So, if we don't have more than three motherfuckers, I guess you could say it's unanimous. But this week's topic is going to be about how we became a juggalo, how we got introduced to psychopathic, insane clown posse in the juggalo community or juggalo family, depending on how you look at it, and how we've seen things progress since then. And since I guess I could say that I'm the Don Mega in Juggalo a Day, I'm the one that started this shit off. And my introduction to psychopathic, insane clown posse, and the whole Juggalo thing started back in 1995, where I had a friend of mine who, he and I had been friends since 4th grade. And he, basically, I'll start off by saying this, I'm not even going to front. I had a lot of trouble earning friends in elementary school. I was mainly the outcast ever since I was in kindergarten. And by 4th grade, this kid, David, ended up befriending me mainly out of pity. But, you know, in all honesty, it's like one of those things where it's going to be, I'll take what I can get. And he actually got to know me. He taught me how to play chess. He and I talked about a lot of things, and he and I ended up becoming pretty good friends. He always played kickball with me and shit like that. You know, he was always on my team. He was always on my team when we played dodgeball, and you know, he always was very supportive of me whenever we were in recess and playing Foursquare and shit like that, you know. In school, he and I were very much 2 peas in a pod. But it wasn't until, I would say, about 7th grade when a lot of shit flipped. And the reason why everything started flipping was because his father ended up passing away at the age of 40 over his 4th heart attack. And after that, you could actually start seeing how it was affecting my boy David. And David ended up skipping a lot of school. He wasn't turning in his homework. He quit doing stuff for band. Like, in band, he used to play the French horn. And he also knew how to play the violin. He also knew how to play the piano. And, you know, this dude was very, very musically inclined. And, you know, I got mad respect for him on that. Me, on the other hand, all I did was I just played the Francesca too. And I wasn't really good at it. Actually, I was good at it. I just never fucking put any effort into it because I didn't care. I only played it because my uncle played it, and I went to the same school as my uncle at the time, and well, whatever. But that's not about what the story is. So my boy David was going through a lot of trouble doing stupid shit, hanging out with the wrong crowd and stuff like that. I mean, you know, back in this point in time, I was living in Lansing, Michigan. Compared to Grand Rapids, Lansing is a shithole. It is an industrial wasteland. I never noticed that until about maybe 5 years after I moved to Grand Rapids, that I noticed that Lansing is an industrial fucking shithole. And it has a lot more problems in Lansing than it does in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids really ain't shit in comparison. But nevertheless, you know, there was a lot of wrongful clicks that are in Lansing, Michigan. And he was hanging out with one of them. His parents were having a lot of problems. And I say parents because at this time, this was probably about maybe 6 months in after his father had died. His mother, I'd say it's kind of weird, but you know, she was already starting to see somebody. You know, I guess when you're with somebody for 20 years and then they just up and die, you know, you don't want to be alone. So I can understand where his mother was coming from. Now he, on the other hand, ended up hanging out with the wrong crowd, so she said. So I went to my mother and I ended up asking her, you know, if she could talk to David's mom and try to set up a play date, or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't think there were play dates back in the 90s. I think that's like a millennial thing, but whatever. So what ends up happening is, you know, she sets up a time and date. It's a weekend. I'm gonna go over to David's house and, you know, just try to hang out and try to make him understand that, you know, I am there for him. He and I are boys, and I'm always going to be there for him, just like he was there for me. And so I go over to his house. We're playing PlayStation. We're playing Too Extreme on the PlayStation. And what ends up happening is the moment that ended up changing the course of my life, which was he ends up whipping out the boombox, the ghetto blaster, and pops in a cassette tape. And what is that cassette tape? Insane Clown Posse's Riddle Box. I had never heard of Insane Clown Posse. But it goes through the intro and it starts playing The Show Must Go On. And I like the beats. Very the Calliope music and shit like that. And once The Show Must Go On starts coming into play and I start listening to the lyrics, I actually looked at him and I'm like, what is this? And he ends up saying, this is the music that's actually been helping me cope. And as we continue to listen to the music while we're playing video games and everything, once it got to Dead Body Man, I started listening to the music. I actually started listening to the lyrics, and needless to say, he ended up winning that match because I was laughing so hard I was rolling on the floor. And I started listening to it again and really started paying attention to the lyrics and everything, and it was really explaining to me how I felt about society, how I felt about my peers, and how I felt about a lot of other things. It honestly feels like when you listen to this music for the first time, it feels like Violent J and Shaggy have been standing behind you everywhere that you go, inside your mind, picking at your brain, picking at your thoughts. And it really feels like they wrote this for you personally. They wrote through lyrics everything that you felt about people that were in the in crowd. It literally feels like you had somebody basically writing the thoughts that go through your mind. And to be totally honest, like I was very angry at my peers because of the fact that I was an outcast, and I never learned how to embrace it up until this point in time. Ever since then, I knew that there was something about me that made me special. And it wasn't until 2 years later, I had turned 15 years old, and my mother ended up giving me a booklet for BMG. And it was one of those, like the BMG thing is kind of one of those, it's one of those companies where it's like, okay, if you buy one CD, you get 5 other ones for free. And the CDs that I ended up selecting were Sublime Self-Titled, Sugar Ray's Floored, Monster Magnet, whatever the fuck that album was that had Space Lord on it, Adam Sandler's What the Hell Happened to Me, I believe the other one was the Verve Pipe, Veneer, and I also got Insane Clown Posse, The Great Malenko. The funny thing about that was once I got it, that was the one thing that I listened to. That was the one album that I was actually looking forward to checking out. Before I checked out any of those other ones, I had heard Adam Sandler's shit before. And so this is like up around 9th grade. And I started finding out that there were some other people that went to the high school that I went to that were into Insane Clown Posse. Some of the kids got it messed up and shit, and didn't know all the names of the albums or anything like that, but it was whatever, you know. I mean, I found people that were into the same shit that I was, and since then I've been hooked. A year goes by and I ended up listening to, I ended up accumulating some other albums, a lot of them that my mom was not happy about, especially the Terror Wheel. When I bought the Terror Wheel and she was questioning some of the names of the titles and the songs, like I stuck her with my wang. She's like, what is that supposed to mean? I said, it means he stuck her with his wang, yo. And he funked the funk. You know, so my mom wasn't necessarily approving of the music that I chose to listen to, but the funny thing is, anytime that she talked shit about ICP, I just would look at her and be like, well, you and my stepdad were the ones who ended up going through my CDs, and of all of the CDs that I had, you decided to take Adam Sandler, so this is kind of your fault. You should have taken ICP. But you didn't. Instead, you ended up taking Adam Sandler's What the Hell Happened to Me, which I still haven't gotten another copy of that yet. I should probably go out and buy one. So, there is all of that. But continuing along with that, there was also another move when I finally moved to Grand Rapids after the end of that year. And the high school that I went to was a very big upgrade from the one I was going at in Lansing. So I went to high school and I found out that they had the internet. And I learned how to use it very quickly because I did go through some computer classes that actually showed, they showed me how to fucking do it. And some of the first things that I did was I went on Yahoo search, and I would search on Yahoo for Insane Clown Posse, and I would also find out that, well, internet in Grand Rapids, you can get it. At this time it was dial-up, and I utilized Yahoo very, very much. So I would go online nearly every day. For the first 6 months of me going to that high school, every day I would stay in the library, and I would try to find whatever I could find. And I found Fago Lovers, found Juggalo News, and I would try to find Insane Clown Posse's webpage, and I would just engulf myself into information about the Wicked Clowns. Try to see what I could find about them. And I finally got the internet at home, so I didn't have to stay at school. And I would continue to indulge in the information that was on the internet about the Wicked Clowns. I'd also use Yahoo Messenger and find chat rooms that were all about juggalos and shit. And I would check with the juggalos that were on that channel. And there was a lot of fucking love. You know, every once in a while you would find the occasional dickhead that felt that tough love was necessarily the way to go. And I still to this day tend to use tough love on newer juggalos in the fold, as you've probably seen on my personal channel. So there is that. Now the last thing that comes to mind is, what have I seen with the Juggalo community progressing since I first jumped into the whole Juggalo community? And that is the fact, unfortunately I hate to say this, but I think it's gone down a downward slope. You know, there was a time when I was doing the Yahoo chats and stuff like that, there were a lot of people, especially around that time when Violent J and Shaggy went into hiding, where everybody was talking shit. And well, the thing about that was, it ended up making me question as to whether or not this whole Juggalo thing was really worth being in. And I think that there's a lot of Juggalos that have that going on at some point in time, but I ended up learning that it didn't matter how much I knew. It didn't matter how long I've been down. It doesn't matter how much merch I have, and it doesn't not necessarily matter whether or not I know what Shaggy's favorite flavor of pudding is, which still to this day I still think it's tapioca. Never necessarily got the information on that one, but maybe one day I'll find out. Maybe one day I'll bump into Shaggy and I'll be like, what is your favorite flavor of pudding? And if he says tapioca, ooh, I'm gonna fucking mark out. Because I've been right this whole fucking time. For the last 15 years I've been saying that it's tapioca. And I'll be right. That would be awesome. But where is the Juggalo community going from here on out? And unfortunately, like I said before, I feel that it's going into a downward slope. The reason why I say this is because a lot of the Juggalos that I bump into hither and yon here on YouTube don't seem to quite get it. There's a lot of Juggalos that are out there that, you know, they claim to fucking understand what it means to be a fucking Juggalo, but then nowadays you've got Juggalos that are out there that are politically correct. You've got a couple of Juggalos that are out there that are saying that they're, you know, like they're transgender, which, don't get me wrong, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being transgender, but a lot of the transgender people that are out there now are transtrender, which means that transgender has pretty much become a trend to them. They think that, you know, being a transgender is just, it's cool. But what Juggalo out there actually thinks that being a transgender or anything is fucking cool? To jump into a situation just because you think that it's the cool thing to do, that's fucking bullshit, and that's definitely something that the Juggalo community should not necessarily be about. I don't give a fuck about what's cool in, you know, the public eye, the whole in-crowd bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that, and that's something that a lot of Juggalos that I bump into now and again, they tend to think that, you know, you gotta do something to be a fucking Juggalo. You've gotta be into something specific. I guess in a way you do, because of the whole thing with Insane Clown Posse and shit like that. You know, a lot of people have been, you know, we've had heated discussions about that. The whole Juggalo community, especially here on YouTube, I've noticed more than anything else, have really been into heated discussions. But a lot of, you know, but honestly, like I said, it's been a downward hill from the point of the unveiling and onward. Especially since you've got a lot of people that are out there that do a lot of stupid shit. And they say that, oh, it's because I'm a fucking Juggalo, we're supposed to do this kind of thing, and blah, blah, blah. Then also, of course, you've got motherfuckers that are going to go on here and try to scam people in the name of the Juggalo community and shit like that, which is stupid. And that's one of the main reasons why we decided to start Juggalo a Day, because we want to get away from all of that. And we want to try to promote more positive things and maybe help inspire and encourage people who might not understand fully and wholly what it means to be a fucking Juggalo, and maybe give them a little bit of enlightenment. And that's, you know, to me, I'd say that that's a lot of time that's well worth spent. So, I think I'm done here. I've pretty much said my piece. I've explained to you how I became down and where I feel that the Juggalo community is going from here on out. It's going down the porcelain vortex unless something fucking changes and we promote more positivity to the Juggalo community. Otherwise, it's just going to go downhill, and you're going to have more OGs that are out there that are going to be bitching about stupid shit that a lot of the younger kids in the community do. So, until next week, I'm Kreyz McKormik. Everybody else up on this channel, you have your assignment. Now remember, anybody else that's out there that's watching, if you want to be a part of Juggalo a Day, you have until Wednesday, Jersey's Day, in order to fucking put up a video and put it up on our Facebook wall and post why it is that you want to be a part of Juggalo a Day. We need 3 motherfuckers, at the very least. And I believe that since there's only one person so far that's actually submitted a video, so far I'd say for him it's a definite shoo-in. We will make our decision and we will announce it next week on Wednesday. Till then, I'm Kreyz McKormik. Tomorrow, it's a filler day. But Wednesday, you will see the Fat Man. Let me hear that one time, Jers. I can't do it with that much charisma because I'm fucking tired as fuck. So I'm out this bitch. Peace.